Can too little sleep be harmful?
Now that's a really tricky question, and it seems to me, from my reading of the literature, that there are two views on this. One view suggests that too little sleep is indeed harmful, and that it's associated with a number of different medical problems. Now, there's a struggle in that work to figure out cause and effect. It may be that people end up sleeping less well because they have some other medical problems, pain or stiffness that perhaps wakes them up or interferes with their sleep. So we're not 100% sure. It's certainly the case that people feel ill at ease when they don't sleep in the way that they think they should sleep. But there's another view, which is that reduced amounts of sleep don't have any really significant impacts upon people. Now, that may seem very strange, and people may be aware of the fact that a lack of sleep or sleep deprivation is even something that's used in torture. But of course there's a great many other things going on in torture as well. And some sleep researchers have managed to take all the stress out of not sleeping by getting people to simply volunteer to stay awake for very long periods of time. Perhaps even be paid for staying awake for very long periods of time. And under those sorts of circumstances, the ill effects that one would imagine to be associated with a lack of sleep don't seem to be so present. Even people's ability to solve problems, to perform intelligence tests, seems to be unaffected by even quite lengthy periods of no sleep whatsoever. And people seem to be able to do an intelligence test as well after 30 hours of sleep deprivation, as they did at the beginning. After 30 hours, a certain type of our intellectual ability begins to decay, something called our executive ability, our decision-making and creativity perhaps begins to drop off. But that seems to be re-established by relatively little sleep, by 4 hours would seem to be the figure. Then people seem to be back on track. So if you take all the stress of not sleeping away and you just look at the sleep per se, then there are quite a number of studies to say nothing too terrible happens. So the picture is confusing, and there do seem to be two camps, and both camps have problems. But I think my impression from talking to people who are suffering from sleep problems is that the real damage is done not simply by the lack of sleep, but by all the worry and the aggravation that goes on while they're not sleeping. That's my impression.